Hello.
Hi, good evening, guys. Thanks for that talk. That was really, really insightful. I think I speak for everyone. That was really, really interesting, for sure. Tonight I'm going to talk about supercharging Magento through one-on-one personalization. My name is Rory Gilmore, and I'm a technical solutions manager at Nosto. Essentially, day to day, I am onboarding new clients to the software and kind of prioritize with getting their first feature set live, trying to make sure that they're kind of getting the best out of the product when they go to market. So in terms of an agenda, we're going to do a bit of personalization 101. What does it mean? What do we consider to be personalization? We're going to talk about how can you achieve it if you're a retailer looking to achieve it. We're going to look at some success stories, and then we're going to look at some new features that are coming down the track, because I'm sure there are some people here who are familiar with us and what we do, so I'm going to try and keep it light and quick and just say this is what we're up to. So what is personalization? This is from Smart Insights. Personalization is either freaking people out or enchanting them. So you generally find people fall on either side. People are either paranoid about Big Brother or they find it to be a really useful tool. We kind of differentiate and we say that personalization, as far as we're concerned, is about leveraging big data with machine learning to deliver one-on-one customer experiences that are through tailored product recommendations and personalized remarketing. So essentially, we are looking at what your customers are doing when they're coming to your site. We're taking note of all of the interactions that they have with your products, and then we're using that data to fuel out them with product recommendations, either on-site or through social media or through emails. Here's an obligatory quote, because these presentations always seem to have a quote from someone. Mark Lavelle, CEO of Magento Commerce, says, "I think personalization is the hardest thing out there. It's still early for true personalization." If we're going to dissect that slightly, I think personalization is the hardest thing out there. He's right. It's difficult. Getting it right is a challenge, but it needn't be the hardest thing out there. There's two things you need to deliver these kind of one-on-one experiences for your customers. And the first thing is a solution that's capable of collecting, analyzing, and making all of your visitor data accessible and actionable. And then secondly, it's having the knowledge within your business and the kind of wherewithal to make that data actionable and impactful. And you also need the tools to do it. Ta-da! Enter Nosto. So obviously, as I said, we are a personalization engine. We were founded in Helsinki in 2011. Got a big team now. That's growing. That's probably out of date. We've got offices everywhere, and we are the fastest personalization solution in the world. The fastest growing personalization solution in the world, but also probably the fastest. So technically speaking, at the kind of core of the kind of Nosto stack, I suppose, are the patents. So how we integrate with stores. If you're a Magento store, we have a patented integration method, which is super quick and easy. And we integrate through a line of JavaScript that sits in your header. And then through that, we can access all of the information, and you can access all of our tools. So we have our patents, our algorithms, our machine learning engine. And then this core is used to create user profiles. So that's the people on your site. That's the people who are looking around. What they're looking at is the next section of that, and that is a product graph. So this is a graph of all of your products. We're saying, right, who is this person, and what are they looking at? And all the time we're building relationships between your products, and we're saying, right, these products are frequently carted together. They have a strong relationship, et cetera, et cetera. And then the next layer is a kind of crowd logic and revenue optimization layer. So we take a combination of these two wonderful things that we gather, and then we compile them to basically predict the product that's going to generate the most revenue for that user at that time. So that comes out in the shape of personalized recommendations to increase conversions, revenue, and customer lifetime value. On top of that, we also understand that you don't want to just leave this all to the machine. So Nosto's kind of UI has a really, really intelligent and intuitive kind of self-customization layer. So this is where you can apply your individual business logic to Nosto. So for example, you may sell Nike trainers and you never want to merchandise them with a pair of Reebok trainers. So you can set up a rule within Nosto really easily that doesn't require any kind of development effort. And you can say, if this person's looking at Nike trainers, never show them Reebok trainers, for example. The other thing is we sit kind of seamlessly in with the e-commerce ecosystem. So obviously, already mentioned, we're a premier Magento partner. We integrate with all these other great platforms, but we are platform agnostic. So regardless of what you're built on, what you're using at the moment, if you're thinking about migrating to M2, we can accommodate that. And we won't be a third-party dependency. We'll support you all the way, I promise. So they all feed into Nosto. We can integrate with them seamlessly. And then obviously we have a whole heap of APIs that go out and connect into all of these other areas of your e-commerce ecosystem. So yeah, kind of to recap, we have a rapid deployment and go-to-market through the tool. We've got lots of built-in wizards. So if you have, I don't know, if you guys are an agency and you want to set things up very quickly, you can do that. We don't want to kind of reduce that deployment time. And also we have that self-customization layer, so we can always be kind of looking to tweak. And this is easily available, readily available for you guys to use if you're a merchant, and you can go in and make those changes. And you're not dependent on us, you're not dependent on your agency, etc. So how do we use all this information? What do we have? What are our kind of products? What does Nosto do? We do Facebook ads, so we do prospective targeting and retargeting. We do product recommendations, which I've already touched upon. Behavioral pop-ups, so if you're on a big data push and you want to capture information about your customers, we can facilitate that. Personalized emails through triggered emails and email widgets, obviously. And then all of that kind of information feeds into our real-time analytics, and you can then continually seek to optimize and sort of improve your setup, as it were. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of success stories we've had recently. And the first of which, because we have a big push with this as we've recently become a Facebook partner, is around retargeting. So this is just an interesting stat. The average customer to a Magento-powered store visits the store 1.8 times before making a purchase, which means that only on the third visit, generally, the average customer is making that purchase. So how can we kind of use that information to better convert those customers if they're coming back after a couple of visits? So our kind of first port of call would be to say that we can utilize Nosto for social ads. And people often say, well, why would I use you over Business Manager? We already have a campaign. We already have things running through Business Manager. The first thing is that we are automated. So Nosto takes care of your feed and placement of pixels that track all kind of activity on your site for visitors from Facebook. And then also we take care of the configuration. So all the time Nosto is working to optimize and kind of filter out any of the rubbish that we don't want. We have an ease of use, setting up, as I say, integrating with Facebook is super easy. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to set up a feed for Facebook. I'm sure the developers amongst you have. It's very cumbersome, it can be a real pain, and it's not easy. Similarly, actually setting up campaigns if you're a retailer is a nightmare. I don't know about anyone else, but I find the Facebook Business Manager to be a pretty horrible place. And also we have powerful analytics. So they're more digestible, they're easier for you to kind of get your head around if you're a retailer, or if you're a kind of agency as well running these campaigns, it's super easy. And also then, the main thing is that we can use the big data. So, you know, we've got the pixel in place, we've got the feed going through to Facebook. We can then push all of that big data that we've received on you and all of your interactions to the site, with the site, sorry, and we can push them and utilize our actual recommendations engine, which is a real like bread and butter, the core of what Nosto does well, and we can push that through social. So, good example of this, Eton Shirts, Magento customer, look at this chap. They had a challenge, and that was people were not purchasing quick enough. They were not purchasing on the first visit, they weren't purchasing on the second visit, they weren't purchasing on the third visit. What do? You guessed it. We use Nosto to do some retargeting, kind of specifically abandoned carts and like visitor retargeting. And we saw a 19 times return on ad spend. Generally, as a kind of solution, we see an average across all verticals of 14 times return on ad spend. On some verticals, we see kind of 20 to 40. And the actual record for our return on ad spend to date, this may have changed while I've been talking, is 111 times return on ad spend for a campaign. So pretty powerful stuff. And then the other part is around kind of customer experience, making sure that we're like delivering a unique and kind of curated experience to your customers. You've got 2,000 SKUs in your store. Why are you showing them things that they're not interested in when they're landing? So part of the secret to Amazon's whopping 13% conversion rate is the fact that you see the things that are going to be interesting to you. You may not be interested in Reebok trainers. I am. I'm going to see Reebok trainers when I go to Amazon. So yeah, Amazon have been on this for a while. Obviously, they're the kind of front runner, and they're the people that we reference all the time as a business, and we say, you want to give people this experience, right? So an example of that is Nomo bags. They have a challenge. They have loads of SKUs. They brought in a load more SKUs. They widened their product range. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to actually offer a more tailored customer experience. So saying, hey, Rory, we know you. We know that you're into satchels. You love satchels. We're going to show you some satchels. So what we did was we utilized personalized recommendations on the homepage. And this kind of improved user experience. So us saying, hey, we know you, we get you, we know what you're going to like, resulted in a 16% increase in AOV through the personalized elements on the homepage. So people who are interacting with Nosto are converting at a much higher rate, and the AOV is significantly higher. So what's coming for those of you who've had this spiel before? Actually, I don't know if you have, because I've just done it. But anyway, what's coming? User-generated content. Look at this lady doing a bit of demonstrating. I don't know where they get these pictures from. They're quite funny. So user-generated content is going to be a focus for us moving forward. Adidas, lovely pictures of shoes. Pretty boring, though. This is the interesting stuff. This is what your customers are doing. They're getting their box fresh trainers. They're putting pictures on Instagram. There's a bit of a trainer theme. It's not intentional, I have to say. So that's something that we're looking to do. We're going to be partnering with content platforms such as Force60 and Olympic. And basically this now kind of freely shared photography, the really interesting stuff that your customers are doing, we're going to use it for Facebook and Instagram. We're going to use it within dynamic product ads. There's also talks about using it in other areas, but we're not 100% on that just yet. So here's a regular product ad, some pretty standard looking headphones. Here is a super inspirational Instagram, super-like image of some cool headphones on this young lady. The next thing that we're doing is Facebook collection ads. We actually already have this in beta with some of our merchants. Obviously, this is more of a branded piece, so this is around kind of trying to say to people, you know, we don't just want to sort of spit product at people when they're browsing. People are still looking to be inspired. Let's show them a video, let's show them a nice bit of branding, and then, oh, by the way, you can buy everything you've just seen. And then finally is the pop-up gallery. Again, I mean, where did this image come from? Are they popping up? I don't know, that's why I picked it. But so I don't know if anyone's used the UI at the moment in here. It's pretty clunky, to say the least, I think. I'm not afraid to say that. Regarding kind of building a pop-up, it can be quite a cumbersome process. So for peak trading this year, we're bringing out our new kind of pop-up gallery. So again, this kind of ease of use, like speed of go-to-market, is all kind of being emphasized in this window. We're making it much easier for you guys as agencies, for you guys as merchants, to get set up with campaigns right away out of the box. Yeah, so that's kind of the newness. If there's any questions, happy to answer. But yeah, thank you for listening.